Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
We have a cold front that'll be headed our way by the time we get to the evening commute. I'll show you how it could affect you.
Amber Alert canceled. The 15-year-old at the center of the search is now safe, but there are lingering questions about where she spent the past 2 days, when we expect to get answers.
Remembering Gene Hackman, from action to thrillers, even comedy, fans are remembering his iconic performance. What we've learned about the investigation into the deaths of Hackman, his wife, and their dog.
It is sunshine as far as we can see here in the noon hour on our Thursday. Right now, a live look at our viewing area and beyond through the WRL Live Cam network. Pretty right now, but change is on the way. Good afternoon to you. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, the beach looks amazing, but the triangle looks beautiful as well. A front will cross our area later this afternoon and into the evening, bringing rain for the commute. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is on the WRAL weather patio with a look at when the rain will start where you are.
Yeah, we're following a front, and that front, of course, is going to bring us some rain as we get through the next little bit. We take a look at our next weather maker. As we get through the afternoon, it'll be cloudy and breezy. I'm already feeling a little bit of the wind out here on the patio. The clouds will continue to thicken up. Expect the rain to begin around 3 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon and then end at around 7 to 8 p.m. Here's a look at where it is right now. You can see that cold front moving eastward. Not much rain along this. It's not going to be a big weather maker for us. We take a look at dual Doppler 5000 radar, and you can start to see some of that rain moving from the mountains toward the Piedmont. So we still have a ways to go before it arrives. Most likely we start to see that moving into our area between, say, 3 and 4 o'clock this afternoon. We'll see this band of rain picking up in intensity. It'll be a bit windy with it too. Briefly, the rain may be heavy, and we could see a few thunderstorms along with it. It moves to our eastern counties by the time we get to, say, 7 or 8, and then it's out of the viewing area. And then we're dry through the weekend. Here's a look at the timeline for the rain. We see that chance of showers starting to really pick up between 4 and 5 o'clock, and then again tapering off between 8 and 9. Coming up, I'll show you how much rain we could see with this system.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, we have another Amber Alert to tell you about. This one just coming out of Siler City. The Siler City Police Department issued the Amber Alert for a 15-year-old girl. She is a Hispanic female. Her name is Gady Hernandez Fernandez. She is 5 feet 3 inches tall, 120 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. We are working to get a picture of her. You can come back to the Live Center in just a little bit. I'll show you that picture. They say to call Siler City Police if you've seen her. So one Amber Alert now active, and this one canceled. Also breaking this noon, a 15-year-old girl missing since Tuesday and believed to be in danger was located. She was found nearly 200 miles from her home in Harnett County. We want to bring in WRAL's Chris Lovingood on this. Chris, there are a few things from law enforcement that stand out in this update.
Yeah, just a couple of things, Renee. So first of all, the authorities are saying that Azalea Striffler was found, but they didn't use the word safe in their update like they sometimes do. So we're working to learn if the girl was harmed at all. The second thing is she was found in Dare County. That's about 193 miles from Harnett County on the coast, covering most of the Outer Banks. In addition to the SBI and FBI, the Kitty Hawk Police Department was part of this investigation, as were the Dare and Currituck County Sheriff's Offices. The Harnett County Sheriff's Office is holding a press conference about this at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Questions we have for the Sheriff's Office: where specifically was this girl found? How was she transported across the state? Is she unharmed? And are there any suspects and possible arrests in this case? Now, I have reached out to the FBI for more information on their involvement in this. We'll have a live streamed of this press conference at 3 o'clock on WRAL.com. We'll also have coverage at 4 on WRAL.
And back here in the Live Center, we now have the picture of the girl that is missing, the 15-year-old. This is Gady Liseth Hernandez Fernandez. She is missing out of Siler City. She is a Hispanic female, 5 feet 3 inches tall, 120 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. Siler City police say if you know where she is, who she is with, to call them immediately.
Police are searching for the person who shot into a car and a home in southeast Raleigh. This is what it looked like around 2 this morning when the WRAL breaking news tracker got to Sunnybrook Road at Pool Road. Police say no one was in the car that was hit. It's not clear whether anyone was in the home, but no one was hurt. Today, St. Augustine's University will try to prove it should fully regain its accreditation. Right now, the school's on probation. Its accrediting board voted to remove the school from the organization due to concerns about its financial stability and oversight. An appeal hearing is scheduled for today. The accrediting board has about a week to make a decision.
At this hour, State House lawmakers are starting a round of hearings about state agencies. They say the goal is to make sure those agencies aren't wasting your tax dollars. WRAL Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie is live at the Legislative Building where that meeting is taking place. Laura.
Renee, the House lawmakers say that these congressional-style hearings are meant to hold agencies in the executive branch accountable for whether or not they're making life better in North Carolina. But most of the questions and testimony so far are basically about how the agencies work and what it is that they do. Oversight Chairman Brendan Jones said this morning, with a new governor in place, a new cabinet, and 6 new members of the Council of State, this is a good time to ask every agency head what they hope to accomplish and how they're measuring their performance.
That's why we're here, to oversee, to ask what's working, what's not working, and why not. We want to know if North Carolinians are getting what they paid for.
As someone...
Revenue Secretary appointee McKinley Wooten was the first up today, explaining to lawmakers how the tax system works. Many had questions for him about delayed tax refunds and customer service. Wooten told them delayed returns usually happen because every return has to be processed through a fraud detection unit. He said that unit saved the state nearly $1 billion in fraudulent tax refunds last year. They're also hearing today, right now, from the state budget director, also planning to hear from the Department of Transportation and the DMV. That's coming up this afternoon. It's likely to be a long afternoon here. They've each been asked to prepare a presentation on how their agency makes life better for the citizens of North Carolina. Laura Leslie, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Some North Carolina lawmakers are speaking out against a new bill that would ban state agencies from considering diversity, equity, or inclusion in their hiring practices. The North Carolina Legislative Black Caucus announced their opposition to House Bill 171 in a news conference this morning. Caucus members said North Carolina could suffer economic consequences if state lawmakers ban DEI in state government. They said the policies help agencies assemble the best teams to tackle problems across the state.
We're not talking about someone trying to injure people, cause harm, do anything negative. We are talking about trying to include individuals who have been excluded for the majority of the time to ensure that we have the best and the brightest.
The bill is supported by most Republicans in the state house, but hasn't come up for a vote. For the latest news on this bill, check WRAL.com.
President Donald Trump is freezing the credit cards of federal agency employees for 30 days. The executive order signed yesterday as part of the Department of Government Efficiency's efforts to reduce federal spending. Charges related to natural disaster response and other critical services are exempt. Law enforcement officers, Customs and Border Protection, and Immigration and Customs Enforcement are also exempt from the order. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is headed to the White House tomorrow. He's expected to sign a deal with President Trump that could help end the war with Russia. But there are still some uncertainties about the final terms of this deal. Zelensky wants concrete security guarantees from the U.S. as part of the newly proposed deal, granting access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals. President Trump says the deal is about repaying the money the United States has given Ukraine now and in the future.
Hollywood is mourning the deaths of 2 actors today. One made her break into show business as a child. The other was known for his ability to seamlessly master any role.
Yeah, we are talking about 2-time Oscar winner Gene Hackman. And minutes before this newscast, search warrants revealed he, his wife, Betsy Arakawa, and their dog had been dead for a while, and that the couple's bodies were located in different rooms. NBC's Stephanie Goss reports.
This morning, authorities investigating the death of a Hollywood legend. Gene Hackman found dead Wednesday alongside his wife, classical pianist Betsy Arakawa, in their home in Santa Fe. Police say the couple, who married in 1991, were found with their dog after a neighbor called police to do a welfare check. Authorities say there is no immediate indication of foul play in the deaths, but they did not provide a cause of death or say when the couple might have died. The two-time Oscar winner always showing grit, intellect, and intensity on the screen. Hackman had the uncanny ability to vanish into any role.
And the problem is?
From tough as nails good cop Popeye Doyle in The French Connection, which earned him his first Oscar.
I'm gonna get him.
To Lex Luthor, opposite Christopher Reeve in Superman.
Mind over muscle.
And after that, a remarkable run of iconic roles in dozens of films, winning over audiences with movies like Hoosiers and Crimson Tide.
Mr. Hunter, I've made a decision. I'm captain of this boat. You're relieved of your position.
And critics with a second Oscar win with Unforgiven.
He's got one barrel left.
He kept working even after heart surgery in 1990, turning to mostly comedic roles. It was against the law. Until his retirement in the early 2000s. Hackman and his wife moving to Santa Fe. He continued to work as a novelist, publishing his 5th book in 2013. Though the two were occasionally spotted together, Hackman largely preferred to stay out of the public eye in recent years, while audiences remember him through a remarkable on-screen career. Now police investigating the screen legend's death.
Well, Stephanie Gosk reporting. Family and fans are also mourning the death of actress Michelle Trachtenberg. The actress got her start on Nickelodeon's Harriet the Spy, which created a generation of fans. Trachtenberg then played Buffy's sister Dawn and the manipulative Georgina Sparks on Gossip Girl. New York City police found her unresponsive and unconscious in a Manhattan apartment yesterday. Trachtenberg had recently had a medical issue, and her death appears to be related to natural causes. Michelle Trachtenberg was 39 years old.
A prominent office tower in Durham is on the market at a discount. University Tower is for sale. It's a tower with blue-green glass at the intersection of 15501 and 15501 Business. The asking price is $18 million. That's $2 million less than what the owners paid for it in 2002. The tower is primarily office space. Currently, about a third of that space is leased.
Next at noon, doggone it, what did this animal eat that made it so sick? The x-rays that reveal what this problem pup swallowed.
Also, a whale of a promotion. How the Canes embracing their past has been a winning tradition.
Plus, don't worry about that smell. Your water's fine. At 12:30, the annual process for our drinking water that always raises questions.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.
An unidentified artist has created a large public portrait of Luigi Mangione in London. Mangione is accused of shooting and killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in New York last year. It was spotted under a bridge in East London, and it shows the 26-year-old in a green hoodie with his hair framed by an arch on the brick wall. While public officials have condemned the killing, some internet admirers of Mangione have hailed him as an anti-establishment folk hero.
Police in Denver are searching for 3 of 4 suspects involved in a pet store puppy heist. Police arrested Timothy Davis. He's the man who allegedly faked a seizure to distract employees while another grabbed 2 bulldogs. 2 men got away in a gold Cadillac Escalade driven by a 4th person who's believed to be a woman. She bought one of the puppies off the street, realized it matched the description of the missing puppies, and returned it to the pet store. Well, the 2nd bulldog has not been recovered. A Burmese mountain dog is recovering after snacking on some unusual items. Luna's owners noticed that the pup's stomach was distended and she was constantly throwing up. Well, they took her to the emergency center last week, and after an x-ray, veterinarians performed surgery. Here's a look at what they removed. 24 socks, a scrunchie, 2 hair ties, 1 shoe insert, a onesie, and other pieces of clothing. We're talking 44 items in all. Needless to say, the owners are keeping a close watch of their 7-month-old puppy. You can't just eat everything.
My, oh my.
But apparently he did.
Yeah. Tonight at the Lenovo Center, the Hurricanes become the Whalers once again. They do this from time to time with great success. The home team faces off with the Buffalo Sabres tonight at 7. It is now the 6th time the Hurricanes will don the blue and green sweaters for Whalers Night, a celebration of the history of the first installment of the franchise in Hartford, Connecticut. WRAL sports reporter Luis Fernandez shows us how embracing the past has worked wonders for the Canes.
In the halls of the Lenovo Center, you'll find a wall full of photos, a chance to travel through time to the early days of the franchise.
And so I think it was fun that we got to keep the franchise records and we got to keep things in the hallway like the old Whalers photos, because that history helped kind of shape the start of our franchise.
That history Canes president Doug Worf alludes to is brought front and center during Whalers Night in Raleigh. Red and black morphs into green and blue. Pucky the Whale joins Stormy. Brass Bonanza rings through the halls.
I grew up playing NHL 93 and 94 on Sega Genesis. You know, then I would play with Ron Francis and the Whalers. I loved hearing Brass Bonanza. Like, those were things that as a kid I grew up with. And I think there's a lot of people like me who remember that lore.
On the ice and in the Eye, the team's store, you'll see plenty of Whalers merchandise.
This is a chance where we've been able to listen to fans and kind of meet their demands.
Like any sports franchise moving, there were, let's call them trepidations at first.
Yeah, I was here in the early years, so I heard some of the comments. But, I think time heals some of those wounds.
Those Whaler fans are still passionate, as WRAL has documented over the years.
It's the Whale. It'll always be the Whale. They may wear red suits, but they bleed green. What can we do? Our team moved. Can you stop loving them? No, you can't.
So consider this a tip of the hat, a clap of the stick to the beginning.
And what they didn't want is they didn't want their traditions to die. And that's the beauty of this, is that their traditions can live on and be seen.
Luis Fernandez, WRAL Sports, Raleigh.
Gotta love the whale sweaters. And by the way, the road to the Stanley Cup playoffs comes right through your living room right here live on WRAL. You can watch the Canes battle it out with newly acquired superstar Mikko Rantanen as they take on the Boston Bruins, fighting for a playoff spot themselves in the East. You can watch the game next Thursday, 7 p.m. right here on WRAL.
From a hockey superstar to our weather forecasting superstar. Let's get out to meteorologist Alyssa Gardner out on the weather patio. It looks gorgeous out there, and it's going to be another warm one.
I think the weather is a star for now. That may not continue for the entire day, but man, it feels so great out here right now. We just had some folks walk over and have a seat right over here on the patio, I think enjoying it. With these warm days that we've seen this week, I think it's going to bring more people out. And it really will be maybe a month to 6 weeks before we're really seeing a lot of activity in terms of the blooms in the azalea gardens. It's coming along. But it's an absolutely beautiful day out there right now. 71 degrees currently. Our dew point's 41, so we don't have any heat index to have to worry about. There's no humidity out there, of course. Our temperatures will climb a few more degrees into the mid-70s before the rain begins. Right now it's 64 in Roxborough, 69 in South Hill, 77 already in Fayetteville, 74 degrees in Clinton. We take a look at temperatures right here around Wake County. Holly Springs at 71, Garner at 71, 70 degrees in Cary. So it just feels great everywhere. It is a little breezy. You're probably, looking at the wind, moving my hair around, which is fine. It feels great out here. But our winds are steady at about 15 to 20 and then gusting about 20, 25. We are gusting all the way to 30 in Fayetteville and Goldsboro. And the wind will remain gusty until the front comes through. So we're looking at gusty winds all the way until maybe around 5 or 6 o'clock. At that point, there may be some breezy conditions within some thunderstorms, but it doesn't look like we'll see a lot of storms with this, but potentially a rumble of thunder or two. Warm out there, though, 76 for the high around mid-afternoon, 74 in Durham, 78 degrees in Fayetteville. Again, our next weather maker bringing some cloud cover. There's some sun that's kind of peeking through the clouds. It was a little cloudier this morning. Definitely breezy. Rain and storms begin between 3 and 4 and end between, say, 7 and 8 o'clock. We'll walk you through that again. There's a look at the front as it moves toward the mountains, and a little bit of rain from Danville back over, say, toward Winston-Salem. It's still a good ways from us, but somewhere between 3 and 4 o'clock, we'll likely start to see that move on in. And here's a local pause it right there at 3 o'clock. A few isolated showers up around Roxborough. And then the main line moves in. We'll pause it there at 5 o'clock. It does look like it's going to be a wet commute. The rain is likely to be briefly heavy at times. We'll likely see a 1/10 of an inch to a 1/4 of an inch. There may be some pockets where it's a little bit heavier. It's going to be with us really through the entire commute from 5 to 7 in the Triangle. And then in our eastern counties, likely to be more like 6 to 8. And then it moves on by and we will be done with rain for a while. Checking the 7-day forecast. We do see temperatures fall behind tomorrow's front. We'll see a high of 62, but our morning low won't be too bad. 42. That's definitely cooler than what we saw this morning. But talking cooler. Now Saturday's warmer at 70, but look at the temperature Sunday morning 33, Monday morning 26, and our high temperature on Sunday only 48 degrees. So we have another dry front that comes in on Saturday night, and that is going to deliver some much colder air. So we will continue the roller coaster ride with the temperatures. It doesn't look like a ton of rain, as I mentioned, for this afternoon and evening, but coming up, I'll show you how much you could see where you are.
Yeah, looks like today's our only stretch of rain or chance for rain for a good stretch. Trending hotter today on WRAL News at 4. The unseasonable warmth we saw in February, not just here in our state, but around the world, and why scientists are pointing to climate change.
Water issues continue. At WRAL at 5, the ongoing troubles people living in Lake Royale say that they are having with their water and the questions we're trying to get answered on their behalf. Plus, still ahead this noon, trust issues. Americans are still afraid of self-driving cars. And coming up, what drivers say is their main concern.
And action-packed. Anthony Mackie suits up for battle in Marvel's Captain America. Why some theater goers got a bit more action than they expected.
Welcome back this noon. Meta is apologizing to users, saying an error caused violent, graphic, and sexual content to flood the Reels page of many Instagram users. A number of Instagram users took to various social media platforms this week to voice concerns about the alarming influx of disturbing imagery and videos. Users say it happened even when their content control settings were set at the highest level. Meta says it is fixing the bug, but the incident comes as the platform has been shifting the way it polices posts to reduce censorship and promote free expression. More than half of Americans say they are still afraid of self-driving vehicles. AAA surveyed drivers aged 18 and up about self-driving cars, and 6 in 10 said they are afraid to ride in an autonomous vehicle, while only 13% reported they would trust riding in one. And vehicle safety remains drivers' main concern, with 78% saying they want advancement in safety systems.
I'm so not there yet. It might come as no surprise, but the market for jobs in the AI sector has surged in the past 2 years. Job postings in AI fields have spiked 68% in the U.S. since the end of 2022, while overall job postings have declined 17% in the same period. In January, LinkedIn listed AI engineer and AI consultant as the fastest growing jobs in the U.S. Jobs requiring AI skills were growing more than 3 times as fast as all other jobs. By the end of the day, some airline travelers will be able to book flights with one airline through Expedia platforms. Southwest airline tickets can now be purchased on Travelocity, Hotwire, Orbitz, and Cheap Tickets. This comes after the airline began listing some fares on Google Flights last May, but required customers to go book through their official website. Smelly but safe. Some people might notice a difference in their drinking water in the coming days. The annual program that helps keep people safe.
Retaliation backfires. A young woman's attempt at retribution lands her in legal trouble. Why police say they have no doubt she's the one behind this vandalism. And here are your winning NC Education lottery numbers on your screen. We'll be right back.
We are following some breaking news right now in the WRAL Live Center. Siler City Police have issued an Amber Alert for a missing 15-year-old girl. This is her, Gady Fernandez. She is a Hispanic female, 5 feet 3 inches tall, 120 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. She is wearing jean shorts, a red top with a bear on it. Police also say she has a Jordan Matthews High School laptop on her. If you have seen her, if you know where she is, if you know who she is with, call Siler City Police or 911 right away.
If you notice an odd taste or smell in your drinking water, do not be alarmed. It is all part of a yearly maintenance designed to keep you safe. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains the annual disinfection process.
A disinfection process is beginning here at this water treatment plant in Garner today. Water utilities are required by law to go through this process every year. Starting today, you may notice a difference in the water coming out of your faucets. It may look, smell, or taste different over the next few weeks. That's because water utilities across the Triangle are disinfecting their distribution systems. They go from using ammonia and chlorine to just chlorine. We spoke with Kimberly Holmes Iverson with Raleigh Water.
We do this every year. It's to ensure that our distribution system is clean. We want to make sure that the water everyone drinks, that the water everyone uses is safe to use.
But there is something you should be on the lookout for.
If you're washing your white clothes and you notice your water is slightly discolored, go ahead and let your tap run a few minutes, and that should help with that. Beyond that, I can't stress it enough. The water is safe to drink. The water is safe to offer your pets. It's safe to use to water your plants. It's safe to bathe in.
Raleigh Water says they plan to continue this disinfection process until April 10th. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Garner.
The Trump administration is reportedly reevaluating its nearly $600 million contract with Moderna to develop a bird flu vaccine. The U.S. is in the midst of a record-breaking bird flu outbreak. It's affected dozens of cattle herds along with poultry flocks nationwide, sending egg prices soaring. The contract was awarded during the final days of the Biden administration. Moderna used messenger RNA technology to produce COVID vaccines. The technology allows vaccines to be designed and made more quickly than traditional approaches. A new policy from the Trump administration could allow the Pentagon to kick out transgender service members. The Department of Defense only recognizes 2 sexes that are unchanging during a person's life. The memo outlining the policy says any service member who has a history of or exhibits symptoms of gender dysphoria will be released from service. In 2018, an independent research institute estimated there were 14,000 transgender troops serving.
Police are investigating a deadly shooting that happened outside a busy Fayetteville restaurant. This was the scene at Smoky Bones right outside Cross Creek Mall. WRAL's breaking news tracker was there. Police responded and found a gunshot victim in the parking lot. That person died at the hospital. Anyone with information about this should please call police. Law enforcement is now focusing their search for a retired Green Beret on his home. Dogs, drones, and deputies searched his property in Cumberland County. This is the property that Clint Bunnell shares with his wife. On Tuesday, the sheriff's office pulled a body from a pond on Gainey Road, and that's about a mile from where Bunnell lives and was last seen. Deputies will not confirm whether the body is Bunnell. He disappeared on January 27th. He was reported missing after he did not show up for class at Methodist University, where he was studying to become a physician's assistant.
And back here in the WRAL Live Center, Appalachian State University has a new chancellor. This is her. She is speaking right now, Dr. Heather Holbert Norris. Norris has been the interim chancellor since April. UNC System President Peter Hans recommended Norris, and the Board of Governors voted to approve her at its Thursday meeting. She will begin as chancellor officially on Saturday, March 1st.
A New Hampshire community is outraged over a controversial video that was filmed in front of a high school. It shows an adult and a child wearing masks standing next to a sign that read, "Jesus loves white children." Jim Morelli spoke with parents who called the video disgusting.
You recall what the sign said? Yeah, it said, "Jesus loves white children."
In Pembroke, New Hampshire, outrage over a recent social media clip which appears to have been filmed in front of the town's elementary school.
It blew up astronomically, and I was just completely disgusted and heartbroken.
The clip shows an adult and child in costume standing with a sign that reads,
"Jesus loves white children."
The clip disgusted Adrian Medina, a parent of 3 biracial children.
Who's raising children like that? Why do they even have custody of children if they're doing stuff like that?
It's unknown who created the video or even who posted it. But a social media search reveals it is not the first time that message, Jesus loves white children, has been seen in New Hampshire.
I think if this goes unaddressed, it's the making of something that nobody's going to want to see down the line.
It is being addressed. Late Tuesday, Pembroke school superintendent sent Boston 25 a statement. School was not in session when this video was taken, she said, and it was taken without the knowledge or permission of the Pembroke School District. The superintendent also reported the incident to police. Police tell us they are looking into it.
I think it's disgusting, it's inflammatory, and it's hateful.
And it happened in a place some would like to think might be immune to intolerance.
If you could have added anything to that sign that says Jesus loves white children, what would your next line be?
Jesus loves all children.
There's Jim Morelli reporting. Closer to home, the Cherokee girls basketball team thought winning their second conference title would be unforgettable, but instead it's filled with memories they might want to erase.
After winning the Smoky Mountain Conference title, the girls were met with obscene hand gestures and racist remarks from fans of the Hayesville team. Clay County Schools released a statement saying the behavior does not reflect the values of their community and it would not be tolerated. For the Cherokee community, it's about continuing to push for change on and off the court.
We strive to be better. We strive to get educated. We're striving to help other communities because this tribe does help the surrounding communities.
The Cherokee girls basketball team takes on Bradford Preparatory School Tuesday in the first round of the state playoffs.
Oh, what a revenge fail here. Why an 18-year-old's attempt to get back at her ex really missed the mark.
And discovery in the desert, where a new plant species is growing and why it is called the woolly devil. Download the WRAL News app and stay up to date while you're on the go. That's coverage you can count on.
Wake County School Superintendent Robert Taylor is celebrating the system's successes and facing its challenges. Taylor delivered his annual State of the Schools address last night at Southeast Raleigh High School. He talked about the resilience and adaptability of students and educators during the COVID pandemic. He also celebrated the county's higher enrollment in advanced courses and career and technical education courses. He also introduced a new student-centered learning model called See Me, Challenge Me, Engage Me, and Know Me.
The individual approach is aimed at meeting students where they are, whether they need to catch up or whether they need to be challenged more.
Taylor also addressed the threat of losing federal funding. He said Wake Schools plans to follow the law and try to reduce the effects it'll have on campuses.
Tonight at the Lenovo Center, the Hurricanes become the Whalers once again. The Canes will trade out their red and black jerseys for green and blue ones to celebrate their history in Hartford. The team store will also be filled with Whalers merchandise. The Canes face off with the Buffalo Sabres tonight at 7. Also tonight, 2 of the top women's basketball teams in the country square off on Tobacco Road. 8th-ranked UNC travels to Durham to play 16th-ranked Duke. This is a crucial matchup ahead of March Madness. Both teams are in the running to host games on the first weekend of the tournament. Tip-off is at 7 tonight.
Here's one. Revenge gone wrong. An 18-year-old woman faces charges after an attempt to get even with her ex-boyfriend. Why the plan didn't exactly have the intended effect.
And ceiling collapse. Moviegoers got an unexpected thrill during a recent screening of the new Marvel action movie. Why crews say the incident could have been much worse.
A popular product meant for relaxation may be putting families at risk. A Cary family recently displaced by a fire tells 5 on your side's Keely Arthur investigators suspect a hot tub purchased from a local Costco may have caused this blaze. And Keely joins us now with what her own investigation found out of this. Keely.
Jeff, I have a feeling we're going to be doing a lot of follow-ups to this story.
Okay.
So we found these pumps have been recalled because of 3 fires. One ended in a fatality in January of 2024. Now, we are talking about these products, Airjet and Hydrojet pumps made by Chinese manufacturer Bestway. They were sold with various inflatable hot tubs, including Coleman and Saluspa, which was one of the tubs used by the family in Cary. Now, it's unclear if the pump in Cary was a part of that recall. It was so badly melted, the model number is gone, but the family said they bought their hot tub in November. The recall was issued in September and involved pumps sold from May 2021 to May 2024. So it looks like this one may not have been a part of the recall, and that's a problem because maybe it is dangerous and should have been.
Yeah, so you wonder, is the recall going to be expanded? Like, what's next? And the company just got back to you?
Yes, so Bestway, the manufacturer, just got back to me a few minutes ago and said, we were not even aware of this situation and we want more details so we can do a thorough investigation, which is really promising. We don't know if there's going to be an expanded recall, but this is something you see sometimes with cars, especially when you hear about a recall and then we go, okay, there's an expanded recall. So again, the manufacturer Bestway did respond to us. Costco, who sold the hot tub, he bought it in Apex, the Cary homeowner. They are crafting a statement for us right now. But yeah, 2 things at play here, Jeff. Either there was a product that was recalled and was sold and it should not have been, or there was a product that should have maybe been in a recall. And I just got the fire incident report from the Cary Fire Department. They said that they think that this was potentially the likely cause. So.
Okay. Well, full report tonight at 6. We'll look forward to that. And Keely, appreciate your investigative reporting on that. Renee?
The action was a little too real this week for 2 people during a recent showing of Captain America: Brave New World. Part of a movie theater ceiling came crashing down during the Tuesday night screening. Fire crews in Washington state say the portion of the interior roof in the building's oldest theater in Wenatchee Valley crashed onto the first 3 rows of the audience. 2 people inside thought the sounds were part of the movie until they looked up. No one was hurt, thankfully. Crews say a lot of people would have been struck had the incident happened on a Friday or a Saturday night, when there'd be a lot more people there. An 18-year-old Florida woman's plan to get back at her ex did not go as planned. Sheriff's deputies responded to a call of someone spray painting a vehicle Tuesday night, and the 18-year-old admitted she was behind the vandalism. But the vehicle that was vandalized actually belonged to a neighbor and not the ex-boyfriend. So the young woman faces criminal charges for the vandalism as well as underage drinking.
Big old whoops there.
Wrong target.
Like a lot of vehicles that'll be headed to the car wash.
Yeah, I still need to get mine. Yeah, I just I've been lazy about it. But meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Maybe I'll just wait a few hours and hope the rain can do it for me.
You know, I got hit. We have a tree over here in the parking lot, and the birds were having a big old feast of berries. And I don't think I have to say anything else. It's I don't think it's going to rain hard enough for for it to help our cars out. We'll have to go get the hose after that this afternoon. But at least the temperature is feeling great for that, right? We take a live look at Fayetteville, Raleigh, Apex, and Chapel Hill. It is windy out here in the gardens. We're seeing windy conditions on the cameras. Our winds are starting to gust up to around 30 miles per hour at this point, and maybe we'll see some gusts up to around 35 as well. So our next weather maker is a cold front, as we've been talking about. The front is starting to move into the mountains. Right now, we're looking at above normal temperatures with windy conditions through the afternoon. We see late day showers and thunderstorms, and then we cool off a bit behind this front. Still be comfortable for us on Friday, but it will be a little bit cooler. This is a look at our wind gust forecast. We're going to be, averaging this afternoon, 25 to 30, but maybe occasionally bumping up to around 30. Once we get to 5 or 6 o'clock this evening, we should start to see the wind dying down. Once the front comes through, you can expect the winds to die down a little bit. There's a look at where the front is right now. It's kind of passed through Asheville, moving through Charlotte and the Piedmont and the Triad right now, and then it will head our way. A little bit of cloud cover out ahead of it. Here's a look at the live dual Doppler 5000 radar. We're not seeing the rain in our viewing area just yet, but again, we'll get another maybe 2 hours. It looks like sometime between 3 and 4 o'clock is when it should arrive. Here's a look at Futurecast, and we'll push that ahead. Right here's lunchtime with a few sprinkles, but then here comes that band at 3 o'clock. o'clock from Durham northward, we're seeing a few isolated showers, but then it really kind of forms up over us. Some of the rain may be heavy at times, but totals are still only going to be maybe a tenth to a quarter of an inch. So if you do see some heavy rain, it may end up being on the brief side. That heavier band of rain moves eastward to our eastern counties between 7 and 8, and then it moves right on out of here. So unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be sitting right over the triangle right during the commute from, say, 5 to maybe 6:30 or so. So it could be pretty messy for the commute this evening. Just keep that in mind. Here's a look at our potential for rainfall, and I'll show you that. It looks like, again, anywhere from a tenth of an inch in Raleigh to maybe 3/10 of an inch in Durham. Fayetteville, again, maybe a tenth of an inch, maybe some spots, maybe up near the Virginia line, pushing a half an inch. 70% chance today, and then we have a dry spell. The temperatures will be up and down through the weekend and early next week, and then we're watching Wednesday. Right now we have 50% chance of rain, but the Storm Prediction Center has already identified Wednesday for the potential for severe storms. It's way down the road, so that could change, but that's an area that we're watching already. Drought status, that came out, of course, earlier today. The yellow shaded area, which is most of the viewing area, is abnormally dry, and then moderate drought for our southern and eastern counties. So we're looking at that. Okay, Saturday and Sunday, both days will be nice and sunny, but take a look at the difference in the temperature between the two. Saturday, 70 and 48 on Sunday. Whew, grab the coats.
A big discovery in Big Bend. Scientists say they've discovered the first new plant in a national park in nearly 50 years. The fitting nickname for this rare species.
And here's a look at last night's winning Powerball numbers. We wrap things up with a look at a few of the headlines we're following for you today. Right now, authorities are searching for a missing Siler City teen. Missing for a week, and an Amber Alert has been issued for 15-year-old Gady Hernandez. She was last seen at her home February 20th. Gady is described as 5'3", weighs 120 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. She was last seen wearing denim shorts and a red shirt with a bear on it. If you know anything about her disappearance, you can call authorities or 911.
A 15-year-old Harnett County girl missing since Tuesday and believed to be in danger was located. Authorities say Azalea Striffler was found in Dare County. This is in the Outer Banks, nearly 200 miles from her home. The Harnett County Sheriff's Office is holding a news conference about this at 3 this afternoon. We will be live streaming it on WRAL.com.
Starting today, you may notice a difference in the look, smell, or taste of water in your home. Water utilities across the triangle are beginning a disinfection process. They will now start using chlorine only instead of ammonia and chlorine. Your water is still safe to use and drink. Raleigh Water says they plan to end this disinfection process April 10th.
Staff members at Big Bend National Park in Texas have discovered a brand new plant. Not only is it a new species, it's also in the same family as daisies. So workers spotted several odd-looking plants on desert rocks in a remote part of the park. And researchers named it Ovicula biradiata. Ovicula is Latin for tiny sheep for the fuzz that resembles wool covering the plant. And biradiata references the two ray petals in each flower. Okay, if that's a little challenging to pronounce, just go with the nickname. They're calling it Woolly Devil.
From the land to the sea, a college student and his professor have discovered a new sea creature. Beadlet anemones are taking up residence along the New Jersey coastline. They're commonly found on the rocky shores of the British Isles and northern Europe. Experts believe some hitched a ride on a ship and made it to the shores of North America. The invasive marine creatures are related to jellyfish and are known to sting their prey, but their tentacles can't penetrate human skin, so that's good news.
Our pet of the day has raised her kittens, and now that they are all grown and adopted, she needs a home of her own. Deja is a gorgeous one-year-old spayed female cat. Someone spotted her and her kittens inside a drainage pipe and took them to the Wake County SPCA. Deja gravitates toward the people and has a very loving, affectionate disposition. She hasn't lived with other cats or dogs before, so if you have pets at home, consider taking her home for a week to see how she settles in. Go to spcawake.org for more information.
Big dance business at 4 on WRAL. Preparations underway in Raleigh to host 2 March Madness games.
NBC News Daily is next on WRAL, your next local news update in 30 minutes.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.